So my experiences with pokeberry, my scale, my pain scale, of like, it goes from like between 1 to 10. Basically 5 is where it starts to be essentially intolerable to your life, and you can't really exist functionally with it in your life, or with it affecting your system. And so for me, pokeberries are somewhere between the toxicity of 6 to 7. It is completely debilitating at its strongest, at its full effects. It takes about 2 hours to kick in, so it's very deceiving, like, to the actual toxicity of the plant. You want to be mindful and wary of it. And what it basically does is it causes a cellular paralysis. It basically makes them stop. It locks them up, and it locks them up. And I'm convinced, and yet to be convinced otherwise, that any animal who eats a bunch of these out in the wild is doing it with the specific and sole intention that they are going to die, that they're basically trying to kill themselves. Because if you eat a whole bunch of these at once, it's going to kill you. To me, there's almost no plant which matches the dangers or toxicity of it, yet it's such a common plant which really just exists out there in the wild. Apparently it's very useful to nature. I see all kinds of... Basically the entire plant is edible by nature. And just over the days you'll see like chunks of the plant just missing. Just... things are eating on it. But like for a rat just to come out there and just eat a whole bunch of berries at once, to me, that rat is specifically knowing that it's going to die. It doesn't want to suffer anymore throughout the shitty winter. It's just going to eat a bunch of these things and basically just kill off somewhere, fall over and die. So like, my experience with it was, I always deal with greens, salt and greens. I always do it. I'm always chewing on greens daily, because like you need that vitamin D, which is really only found in greens, whatever specific enzymes there are. You don't want to expose fruit and vegetables to heat. You don't want to expose fruits and leafy greens to heat. It destroys their natural compounds. It destroys their compounds. And so I had like a bunch of these. My usual serving, about like this much soy greens, and I added like 8 or so pokeberries, because if you add fruits to these, you can basically use this as like a screed to keep out the fibrous material, so that your body doesn't have to digest this more heavier solidified compounds. It goes through your system more quickly, like this. Berries like this. I got about 8 of those little berries or so, and before that point I had tried about 2 or 3 of them with no problems, no side effects. I had a basic awareness, basic understanding of what they were, of like the long-tell folklore history of basically how poisonous it's a plant to be avoided, but not specifically why or how crazy this plant really is. And I put it on my mouth, all 8 berries. I started chewing on them, started juicing them gently, just one-sided at a time. Gently juicing the whole thing. Not all at once, but just... And as I started juicing and sucking the juices down, and as I normally would, my body started having a gag reflex to what I was taking in. There was like a repulsion. It's like trying to put any more down. It's just like there was just something... I couldn't tell that it was immediately toxic, but I could tell something was going on which it wasn't supposed to be. I was taking on, and it's like then that's when the wisdom started kicking in of like what I'm actually chewing on. And like, I probably consumed about 70% of what there was, and realizing that it was indeed poisonous, that it was something that my body was reacting heavily to, even before went through my stomach. It was just when it reached my stomach, just in my system, to try to mitigate some of those, like, that revulsion, because I didn't want to puke. I didn't want to, like, waste all that, like, the juices, the greens. It's precious. That stuff like that only comes, because basically my mom destroyed the entire yard and had to conserve greens. I didn't want to spit it out. So what I did was I called to have some of the toxins pulled from my stomach directly into my bloodstream, to do so early, so that my body would both not react so hard to it, so that it wouldn't puke it all up. I did about maybe 20%. I just pulled it out of my stomach into my bloodstream, and that sort of got set my body up, prepared my body for the worst effects of it. But you don't know anything is wrong until about 2 hours later. And basically the way that you know how is your body begins purging everything. And just everything. Just doesn't matter what it is. If it's in your gallbladder, if it's in your intestines, if it's anything, just up, just out. That's, your body's just trying to go through an elimination process, trying to keep itself safe. Your cells themselves are basically enter into a state, a spiral of free fall of several hours, if not days, depending on how much toxin you have, and how quickly it's being metabolized, how quickly it's being metabolized into your bloodstream. I couldn't drink. Nothing was staying down, no matter the amount of water. And so your cells themselves, basically the little guys that move around, they basically have a storage system. They have so much energy, and depending upon your metabolic constitution determines how much the reserves they have basically in total left on hand. And basically pokeberries, it causes you to burn up all of those reserves until there's nothing left, which is dangerous. And basically if you burn up those reserves, those caloric reserves within the cells themselves, you basically exhaust the cell and you die. Respiratory failure, starvation, basically, you starve. If you ever had a mouse and you skip out on a few of its meals, you realize how quickly they die, basically almost within a day or 2 days. They starve so quickly. Basically it's the same thing. And so your stomach, every time your stomach contracts, or when it expulses, whenever it moves, whenever it pukes out stuff, it uses energy from those cells. Your body can only do that so many times without receiving sugars, without receiving energy. The source of calories, ATP, whatever it's called. And that would be continuously trying to juice apples, trying to drink water, wouldn't keep it down. My body wouldn't keep it down. And so it feels awful and wrong, because like, you're basically, you drink some water, you know it's going to come back up. It's like, you don't even have any strength to really get up even. You just bring a bin over, you just puke into the bin, just set it aside, and just like, it's like, dude, everything's on shutdown. Everything's on fucking shutdown. And the only way you can really, two ways of healing can try to prevent the symptoms of that is to know way beforehand that they've consumed it to begin with. Like, the way you do it for early prevention is to just call it out of the cells, to transfer it directly down to the intestine. Don't wait the 2 hours, and just call it directly to the large intestines to be expelled, and that's it. It'll be gone, done with. There's no effects. But if you wait the 2 hours, the only way to really help that, because the cells themselves do not want to move after that point, after they've taken that sickness, after they've taken that viral toxin. Oh my lord. Is to basically call the cells right in place, to cycle the cells right in place, and to just burn the toxin where they are. Just to metabolize it. Just tell them to burn it. Just burn this thing out. don't try to get those things into your cells. That will burn up whatever precious little reserves that they have. Resources. I hope that makes sense. Or to send someone love continuously, and that will passively metabolize, cause their cells to burn those compounds out just by the cycling. It passes by hours of like what the possible symptoms would have been of suffering. I would have suffered a lot longer if not for those girls, if not being able to reach out to Twitter and like get an awareness out that like I was going through some suffering. I was going through some real shit. And basically during that state of, it was horrible, because every time you puke, it's just like your body goes into that like kind of like, it's just, yeah, the sweating cold, the drop in body heat, the temperature, and like the repulsion of like water to the physical surface of your skin, how cold that makes you. It's just like, it's sickening. It's just like, it's horrible. There's an 800-watt heater just blasting heat all over me. It's not nearly enough. It's not enough. I can't even get blankets that I cover myself up with. Basically, any friend that's going to be exposed to that, they're going to be in a night of hell, and you're going to basically have to like sit by them the entire 8-10 hours, whatever it is, 12-16 hours, depending on the body type, and just basically know that they're going to be puking, shitting all over themselves, and you're going to have like toilet paper, like just clean blankets and stuff like just close by, and just know that things are going to get messy. Because like they're basically, oh god, it's horrible. But otherwise, if you can burn it out, you'll save yours, prevent them a lot of trouble. So basically what that cost to me was anything that wasn't solidly an organ, basically it got depleted. Anything that was related to water reserves got just zapped, just expunged, expelled, like anything. The most painful part of that experience, besides the physical, the cellular depletion, and the exhaustion itself, and the physical paralysis, was the bile, the puking. Because when your body is in a state of expulsion, a purge like that, it tries to send everything up, just trying to burn the toxin out, just trying to return yourself to a state of homeostasis, trying to get things working again. That's all it's doing. It's not smart. It's just everything out. We're dying, out. It's a poison oak, poison ivy, all the things in the wild, all the mushrooms that I've tried, I haven't tried them all, fall way below that toxicity scale of like 4 or 3. A poison ivy doesn't even affect me. Poison oak doesn't even like bother me. Stinging nettle, not stinging nettle, but like bull nettle, that hurts no, nothing even comes close of like the toxicity. I'm like, what the fuck? But like, that's why I lost so much weight, and like that's why I got so small looking. Because it burned out all my water reserves that I created over time. Those pita body water reserves that I call them pita body water reserves, but you can create water reserves within your body. Basically, anywhere there's an organ system, where there's nerves, anything, you can basically create like a spongy material on the outside, which allows you to store water, more water than you normally would. Because if you're Vata metabolic chemistry, you're not going to be able to store much water at all, let alone resources. Pokeberries is very dangerous for you in that case, because like it burns what little precious reserves that you have, and you're just, by the 8th hour or so, 6th, 8th hour, you're just like, when you're going through hell, and you just feel so low, just how much energy you're expending, just puking and pooping. There's diarrhea, and we have so many names for like, our names don't suit the plants that we give them to, such as like tread softly, like pokeberry. Why would you call it pokeberry? It should be called poison Mary or something, or like poison Jesus. Like, oh my god, poison hemlock or something. Like poison, not pokeberry, what the fuck? Or like, not tread softly, what the fuck? So, tread softly is a type of stinging nettle. It's not a nettle, but like they consider. Tread softly to me should be called the ow Jesus Christ plant. Jesus Christ. The ow Jesus Christ plant. That's what it should be fucking called, not whatever the fuck it is. Bull nettle, Texas bull nettle, all the stinging, whatever the fuck it is. Ow Jesus Christ. Because it packs a punch. It feels like. Have you ever seen it? It's clearly seen in the wild when it's during fall or winter. When it blooms, it creates those little white petals. It's very easily seen. That plant, as well as thistle, and not pokeberry. I don't want to destroy pokeberry, but that plant, pokeberry and thistle. Thistle is a very thorny plant. It literally almost serves no purpose besides just to fucking hurt you. It's just spiky and pointy. It's just stupid. To me, tread softly is that way as well. It's very, I don't want to say, it's not dangerous. It's just very, it makes life shitty. It's a bane to barefoot walkers in general. I don't want that existing around my neighborhood, around my kids. I want my kids to be able to walk wherever the fuck they want and not step on these stupid fucking plants, which literally serve no goddamn purpose in my life. So whenever I find them, I just destroy them as soon as I can, because I don't see insects eating them. I don't see anything enjoying this plant. It's just a stupid species, basically. Stinging nettle, even if you just run up to it and touch it with your toe, it feels like you've suddenly been stung fully by like a bunch of ants or by like a wasp. It's just like, ow, frick, it's just like, god damn it. And it just makes you, it gives you that reaction. It's like, god damn it, it just burns. Like for 10 or 30 minutes, it just burns. It feels like you got stung by ants, like they latched onto you and they just gave you all the poison, just like, and it's just like, just one touch, that's all it needs. It's like, god damn it. It makes you want to scratch it, itch it, because it's like it's formic acid and shit, and it's like. So yeah, that's my spill about plants. And just to warn you guys of, like, I guess the dangers of, and to respect nature, and the danger of nature, and just to respect it. And to not just, whenever you try things out in nature, try it gently and gradually. And really go gradually, don't make huge steps up like I did. And yeah, that's pretty much it.